Donald Trump didn't grow up. He was programmed. This isn't a story about childhood. This is a story about construction. Fred Trump didn't raise a son. He built a project. While other kids were allowed to be confused, afraid, or unsure, Donald was trained to perform. Fred Trump built buildings the same way he built people. Cheap materials, strong facade, no emotion. And he taught his son one brutal truth early. Appearance matters more than reality. If you look powerful, no one checks the foundation. If you sound confident, no one questions the truth. Donald learned fast. Never hesitate. Never admit weakness. Never show doubt. This wasn't strength. Trump didn't teach morality. He taught what works. He showed Donald how systems bend, how laws stretch, how noise buries questions. If you're losing, attack. If you're cornered, create chaos. If you're wrong, speak louder. Donald learned something critical. Truth is slow. Confidence is instant. So he trained his voice, his posture, his exaggeration. Every conversation became a stage. Every conflict became a performance. Behind the performance, there was no room for reflection, only repetition. Fred never asked, "Are you right?" He asked, "Did you dominate the room?" This wasn't confidence. It was conditioning. This wasn't ambition. It was training. He wasn't becoming a man. He was becoming a character. The problem with a mask is simple. Wear it long enough and it fuses to your skin. By the time Donald Trump entered politics, there was no switch to turn off. He didn't enter to serve. He entered to perform. Every speech was theater. Every enemy was fuel. Every loss was rigged. Because admitting defeat meant breaking character. When facts challenged him, he attacked. When evidence appeared, he created noise. When reality pushed back, he denied it louder. And the crowd followed. Not because he was always right, but because he never sounded unsure. In the end, Fred Trump got exactly what he built. Not a son with depth, but a figure who never doubts himself. The world didn't create Donald Trump. He was trained for it. The problem with a mask is simple. Wear it long enough and it becomes inseparable from your identity. By the time Donald Trump entered politics, the line between performance and self had vanished completely. He didn't enter to lead. He entered to perform. Every word was carefully staged. Every opponent became material for his act. Every setback was twisted into drama. Because admitting defeat meant breaking character, shattering the illusion. When facts challenged him, he countered with spectacle. When evidence appeared, he drowned it in noise and distraction. When reality pushed back, he denied it louder, with conviction. And the crowd followed, mesmerized. Not because he was always right, but because he never sounded unsure, never wavered. In the end, Fred Trump achieved exactly what he had intended. Not a son with reflection or depth, but a figure who never doubts, who never hesitates, who never falters. The world didn't create Donald Trump. He was meticulously trained for it, crafted, honed, and shaped to perform on the stage of the world. And yet, behind every performance, behind every orchestrated word and every carefully measured pause, there is a void no applause can fill, a silence that follows the curtain call. Because the mask demands loyalty. It demands perfection. It demands sacrifice of the self. And he wore it, always, fully, until the mask became indistinguishable from the man. The stage is larger than any theater. The lights are brighter than any studio. Every eye watching, every camera rolling, every headline, all part of the performance. He learned early that reality is negotiable. That perception is power. That fear, hope, and admiration are tools to shape the world. And he wielded without pause, without apology. The world didn't create Donald Trump. He was trained for it. He was molded. He was perfected. And in the end, he is not just a man. He is a performance, an unyielding, unstoppable act.